Listen, this is the season of truth, and it's all about stepping into the spotlight of your life and business. It's about embracing the role of the lead character in your own success story. But before we get into the nitty gritty, let's talk a little bit about what Big Profit Energy is all about. Big Profit Energy is a vibe, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. Baby, it is lit over here. And I want you to be lit too, okay? Big profit energy is not just a phrase, it's a mindset, it's a way of being. It's when your actions in business, your deepest desires, and your unique strengths all come together to create this magnetic force that attracts success, satisfaction, the bag, because you know I'm always going to bring it back to money, because getting money in life is important, because money gives you options, money sets you up for success, money lets you do good in the world. So we are going to be unapologetic about our desire to have money, and not because we love money. Well, actually I do love money, but I love money for all the reasons I just said. It's not for the love of money. It's because of all the things that money allows us to do. And I can't buy back the block from broke. I can't serve from broke. I serve from my overflow. I serve because my initial needs are met and I can make decisions from my growth needs. And in this episode, I actually want to share with you how I got there. And there was something very special that I had to do in order to make that happen. So let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. Welcome to the Big Profit Energy Podcast. I'm your host, Kim McCarter. I'm going to be your guide, your coach, and the voice in your ear, reminding you that you got this. This is your season of Big Profit Energy, where bold moves, brave dreams, and big profits are just the beginning. And as a reminder, baby, you got this.
Yeah.
Now that we have set the stage, I want to dive a little deeper into what Big Profit Energy really means and how it can really revolutionize the way you approach your life and business. At its core, Big Profit Energy is about empowerment. It's about harnessing the power within you to create success that you've always dreamed of. Think about it this way. In every great story, there's a main character that goes through a journey, faces challenges, grows, and eventually comes out as a winner. That's exactly what Big Profit Energy is all about. It's about becoming the main character in your own success story. You're going to face those unique challenges. There's no way around those bumps in the world, but you're going to face them head on, and then you're going to emerge victorious. And you may be wondering, like, how does Big Profit Energy really empower you to do this? It starts with alignment. Aligning your actions with your values, your business strategies with your personal goals, and your mindset with your aspirations. This alignment creates a magnetic force. It attracts opportunities, people, and of course, it's always going to come back to the money. And I don't want you to think that it coming back to the money is a bad thing, because your money story and how you are using your money is what's going to help you do all of the amazing things that you want to do in your life. When we get more money in the hands of good people, more good things can happen in the world. And I don't want to be the only good person with a lot of money. I want a whole slew of people around me. I want a stadium's worth of millionaires and billionaires who can stand up together and be like, we are here to change the world. And when your profitability resonates with your true self, you become one of the people in the stadium with us. And when it comes to embracing the main character vibes, it's all about stepping into the spotlight with confidence. A couple of years ago, I did a photo shoot in Bali. And when I posted the images, the response was unbelievable because they were crisp, they were clean, but it was also, I had this glow about me. Now, some of you listening to this have no idea who I am. Let me be the first one to tell you, I have been a big girl all of my life. But one thing being a big girl has never stopped me from doing is getting on a stage. I bring all this body fat with me, and I'm going to keep bringing this body fat with me. I am not the one that's going to be like, oh, I got to lose some pounds or I got to put on 10 pairs of Spanx before I step into a photo shoot. Now, don't get it wrong. Sis gonna look good, okay? I'm bringing this body fat with me though. Let me say this, okay? Sis do wear her body garments. I don't play that. But I don't wear body garments to the point where I'm so restricted that I feel like I can't breathe or that they're cutting into my thigh. Listen, I'm not the only person that's done that before. In fact, that's not just a big girl thing. I have come to find out that my friends who are like 8, 10s, and 12s wear more body shapewear than I do. Okay, so I don't want to make this like, a body episode, but owning who you are and learning to have that confidence, even when you may feel like you can be better or look better, is going to be so important. And one of the ways that we do that is becoming accepting of who we are. That doesn't mean settle. Do not mistake accepting for settling, because you want to be the healthiest version of you. And not just healthiest when it comes to your body shape and size. I'm talking about your emotional health and your mental health and your spiritual health as well. When all of this comes together, you radiate a glow that attracts the right people and the right opportunities to you with flow and ease in all ways. Another thing I want you to know is that Big Profit Energy is also about embracing your role as the protagonist. It's about writing a story where you're not just successful, but you're also fulfilled, aligned, and true to who you are. Growing up, many of us may have been taught to be humble. I'm Gen X. So there was this huge thing growing up about not being conceited and to be humble, to not show off. Lessons that were passed down and our cultural agreements that many of us still live by in our adult lives. A few years ago, a coach asked me, why was I struggling to show up in the best way possible? And I remember saying that I didn't want to come off as conceited and I wanted to make sure that I remained humble. And she taught me that now wasn't the time to be humble. If wasn't willing to stand proud and tall in how I could help people, I would never be able to stand out in the industry and I would just look like everyone else. And she encouraged me to figure out where I had learned that from. And I started to think about it, and I remembered an incident. And I think I was about 9, maybe 10. Can't remember. It was early. And I remember that I had all of these gifts that my mom had brought to Philadelphia for Christmas. And one of them was a Cabbage Patch doll. So I wasn't even 9. I had to be like 5 or 6. And I wanted to take my Cabbage Patch doll up to the street and show a friend. And my grandmother told me I couldn't take it out the house. And when I kept begging and kept begging and kept begging, and my mom was saying that it was okay, I went upstairs to do something. And I remember my grandmother explaining to my mother that the woman up the street wasn't able to get the kids' stuff out of layaway. And she didn't want me to take my stuff up the street because then the kids would realize that they didn't get anything for Christmas. So she encouraged my mother to have me wait. It would be 30 some odd years later where that story and something that I heard in passing set a cultural agreement that I could not show off things that I was proud of. And it wasn't because of anything besides the idea that we didn't want other people to feel less than. Another way that this shows up specifically in the Black community is when people say you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And by keeping up with the Joneses, it's this term that kind of means, that you are living outside of your means. And part of the reason why you are doing that is because you don't want other people to know what you have or what you can afford. And what that does is it creates a cultural agreement that when you show off, you are doing it to belittle others. And in most cases, that isn't what was happening. But because that was a lesson that was taught unclear, you now have a belief that keeps you in humble mode. But if you aren't willing to show up for you, how can anyone else? And it goes so far along into our adult lives that when other people attempt to empower and encourage you, you brush it off. I remember that there were times where people be like, "Oh, you look good. I love that." And I'd be like, "Oh, this little thing of, I just decided to put this on," trying to shrink down the compliment. In entrepreneurship, now isn't the time to shrink. This is why stepping into your main character is so important. But you can't step into your main character and you can't show up the way that you want to if you have these hidden cultural agreements giving your limiting beliefs legs to stand on. As an entrepreneur, you do have to show off a little bit. There are going to be moments where you got to go back in the day and be like, it ain't tricking if you got it. Okay. And part of the reason why you have to do that and why it's going to be important is because you have to own your role as an expert in the room. Do you have to be the smartest person in the room? Absolutely not. But you are going to have to get off of the wall so people know that you, your brand, your voice, your business, your expertise, and how you can help them get to their goals quicker, sooner, faster does exist. Taking ownership of not just your expertise, though, but what do you desire? Your desires, wants, needs do not have to go on the back burner to make other people feel okay. You can absolutely exit conversations in rooms where people aren't willing to empower you into your next level. One of the things I do want you to be on the lookout for, and I do want you to recognize, is that people will tell you that you've changed. And the truth is, you have. But that change is for the best. Nobody knows what they don't know. I grew up in Philly, West Philly to be exact. And for so long, all I knew was West Philly. And because all I knew was West Philly, when I used to come to New York City to visit my family, I just couldn't relate to them because it wasn't Philly. When I actually got a chance to explore the world outside of Philadelphia and do new things, I started to want more in my life. And as I decided to go after the things that I wanted, people tried to humble me. And in their chance to try and humble me, they tried to do it in a way that made it seem like me going after my desires meant that I thought I was better than them. And that wasn't the case at all. I just no longer wanted to continue to live the way that I was living. And the more my horizons expanded, the more that I did, I thought I had to bring everybody along with me. And the more I tried to force people to come along for the ride, the more they resented it because they were comfortable where they are. People are not going to change until they want to make a change in their lives. And even when they do decide to make change, it may not be on the same level that you are, and that's absolutely okay. I have day ones that I thought I would ride with for life. And as I went further into expanding my career and stepping into my entrepreneurial journey, I realized that those people could not come along with me. In the entrepreneurship space, they talk to us so much about you can tell where your life is going when you examine the 5 people closest to you. And if those people that are closest to you are not in a space to help you move into your next level, you will continue to stay where you are. And as you continue on the path of where you are and not going after your goals, you'll start to create resentment. Not just resentment for the people around you, but for the people who have went on and hit the goals that you thought were only a dream. I want you to embrace the idea of main character vibes. You don't have to wait until it's an empty nest. Now, let me say this before all of the mamas be in my comments and DMs, right? I'm not saying ignore your kids. I'm the cool auntie. I want you to show up for your kids. And here's what I also want you to remember: the more you go out and do in the world, and the more you experience and the more you grow, the more you can teach your children to do the same. I was watching a friend on TikTok, and she said that she asked her mom how come she never taught her how to use her vagina for good. And her mom was like, "What?" And she asked her mom again, like, "How come you never taught me how to use my vagina for good?" And her mother said to her, "If I knew how to do that, do you think I would have ended up with the man I ended up with?" And she talked about how she had such a big aha because no, her mother couldn't teach her what she didn't know. But now that she knows better, she can make sure that the generation of women behind her can know better as well. And that's how you embody main character vibes in your life, because you know that the more you step into alignment, you are going to pass those lessons on to other people, whether that's family, friends, clients, or just when you show up in the world and start having conversations with other people. And as they absorb those lessons, they're going to go out and teach them to other people as well. And the cycle is going to move forward. And as you are doing this, you are going to see just how unique your story is. When you embrace your main character vibes and you fuel it with big profit energy, you can start to see how your narrative is going to unfold in the most empowering way. And the more it unfolds, the more you'll get the opportunity to really be like, I can rewrite my story. I can make my story into whatever it is I desire to be. Now, stepping into your own success story doesn't mean that you aren't going to face challenges. You are absolutely going to face challenges. We all have to face challenges. But when you've embodied your main character and you've backed it up with big profit energy, you understand what it means to move beyond fear and move through it instead of shrinking back and wondering what's going on. You start to go, what can I do to fix this? Your self-awareness rises to such a level that you are operating on a frequency where it's the future or nothing, because nothing else is important in the way that what you're going after is. And when you begin to illustrate this and show your perseverance, it shows up in a way that goes, my success is my non negotiable. And that's the mantra I want you to take from this. Your success is your non negotiable. Okay, so now that you understand the power of big profit energy and embracing your role as the main character, let's talk about how you can start embodying this energy in real, tangible ways. So, I want to give you some actionable steps to help you step into main character vibes and take charge of your narrative. First things first, define your story. Ask yourself, what do I want my journey to look like? Visualize where you see yourself in your career and your personal life. This isn't vague ideas. This is about painting a clear, vivid picture of your desired future. I want you to write it down, create the vision board, and do what it takes to make it tangible. Next, get clear on your values and strengths. These are the core elements of your main character energy. What do you stand for? What are your unique skills and talents? Understanding these things will help you make decisions that are true to you and propel your journey forward. Now you're going to set goals with your story and value. These shouldn't be any goals. These should be ambitious, exciting, and a little bit scary. Remember, the main character always has a compelling mission. So break down your goals into actionable steps and start working towards them. As the main character, challenges are a part of your plot. Embrace them. See each challenge as an opportunity to grow and get closer to your goals. When you face obstacles, remind yourself that every protagonist has their trials, and it's overcoming these that make a great story. And last but not least, don't forget to celebrate your wins, big and small. As you progress in your journey, take time to acknowledge your achievements. This not only boosts your morale, but it reaffirms your main character status in your success story, okay? So, those tips are going to help you start to embody your main character energy. I want you to remember that you are the author of your story. With Big Profit Energy, you have the power to make it a bestseller. So I want you to start today, take bold actions, and step into the spotlight of your own life. Remember, you got this. And if you want help creating bigger, bolder goals that are centered around your big profit energy, I have a free workshop where I walk you through this exact process. I'll make sure to drop the link inside of the show notes of this episode so that way you can join me for the next workshop. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to take a moment and bring everything together so that way you really understand how to use big profit energy to really begin to amplify those main character vibes and ensure your actions are as powerful as your mindset. Remember that big profit energy isn't just a concept, it's a practical tool. It's the fuel that powers your journey. By embracing this energy, you're not just dreaming big, you're making those dreams a reality. You're turning your bold visions into tangible successes. And here's exactly how I want you to do that. First, step into alignment. Aligning your mindset with your actions is key to this process. This means not just believing in your potential, but also taking consistent, purposeful steps towards your goals. It's about matching your internal belief system with external efforts. Next, you are going to amplify that energy. I want you to use this newfound clarity that you have and confidence to supercharge your actions. Every step you take, let it be infused with the essence of big profit energy, bold, brave, and unapologetically ambitious. And remember that authenticity is your secret weapon. In every action you take, let it be a true reflection of who you are. Your authentic self is your most powerful self. When your actions are deeply rooted in your true identity, they resonate more, impact more, and ultimately lead to greater success. Finally, stay focused and consistent. Main character energy is about persistence. It's about showing up for your story every single day, even when the going gets tough. Consistency in your actions will amplify your energy and bring your story to life. This is one of the reasons why I created the sanctuary. Because in the sanctuary, it's not just about creating the goals, it's about making sure that you have the continuous support that you need for when you are facing those challenges. It's a space where you have the opportunity to be heard, hugged, and helped while you are on your journey to bigger, bolder goals and growing your bank account. Because having a space where you can be reminded of who you are, why you are, and where you're going is going to be key. Especially because as you start to stay consistent and maintain your big profit energy, your vision is going to keep expanding. And it can be scary, but moving beyond the fear and within it is one of the things that you also have to be consistent in. So that way you can really have your mama, I made it moment. And you're going to have those moments over and over and over again. It just gets me giddy just thinking about it because every time I see someone have their mama, I made it moment, it lets me know it's possible, not just for me, not just for them, but for everyone who gets to witness their story. Remember, use Big Profit Energy to amplify your main character vibes. Align your mindset with your actions and watch as the world becomes your stage. You have everything you need to write a success story that is uniquely yours. Keep pushing, keep thriving, and remember, you're the main character of your life. So, girl, make it epic. You deserve that win. You deserve everything he wrote for you in your story, and it's time to bring it into your reality. Listen, I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Big Profit Energy. I am so excited to have you along for the ride, episode by episode. Remember, your story matters, your dreams are valid, and your success is just waiting to be claimed. Until next time, keep owning your story and let your season of Big Profit Energy continue to shine.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Big Profit Energy. I want you to remember your power and success are in your hands. Keep channeling your main character energy and don't forget to manifest your dreams into reality. Until next time, stay empowered, stay inspired, and keep igniting that Big Profit Energy. Be sure to hit subscribe for more and let's keep this energy flowing. I'll see you on the next episode of Big Profit Energy.